This is it, Alara. Tonight's everything, I whispered to myself, smoothing the folds of my dress. My hands shook despite the excitement. You look beautiful, Aiden said, leaning close. His voice always had that way of curling into me, making my chest squeeze. Everyone's going to see how perfect we are together. I smiled, but a pit of unease lurked beneath it. I hope they like the setup. Jonas helped with the decorations. Jonas? Aiden raised a brow, clearly pretending interest. He's always helpful, isn't he? I caught Jonas across the room, grinning nervously as he adjusted a candle. I waved. Thanks for coming early, I mouthed. He gave me a thumbs up. Mira hovered near me, her hand brushing mine. You look amazing, Alara, she said, but there was something cold in her eyes. Aiden is lucky. I laughed. I know, right? I can't believe this is actually happening. Wait until you see him tonight, she said softly, almost too softly. The dinner began. I floated between guests, making small talk, my heart thrumming like a drum. Every time Aiden laughed at someone else's joke, I caught a flicker of something I didn't want to name. Excuse me, Alara, Mira's voice whispered. She tugged at my sleeve. I'll be right back. Okay, don't be long, I said, watching her disappear into the hallway. Minutes later, a chill crept up my spine. Something didn't feel right. I followed quietly, curiosity pressing against my chest. That's when I saw them, Aiden and Mira, in the dimly lit study. Alara, I didn't mean to. Aiden's voice trembled as he bent over my ring box. I froze, my heart slammed against my ribs. Mira's hand reached for my engagement ring. Wait, what are you? I whispered, stepping closer, my words trembling. Aiden looked at me, eyes wide, guilt flickering and then vanishing. Alara, it just happened. Just happened. My voice cracked. You mean you put my ring on her? Mira smiled, small and venomous. It's not what you think, she said. Not what I think? I laughed bitterly, my throat tight. I literally watched you steal it. My ring, my life. How is that not what I think? Aiden stammered. Alara, we didn't. Please, let me explain. Explain, I whispered, my nails digging into my palms. You don't get to explain. You betrayed me. Both of you. Jonas's voice came from behind me. Alara, wait, what's going on? I didn't turn. My vision blurred with anger and disbelief. Go back to the party, Jonas. Just go. Aiden stepped toward me. Please, Alara, I love you. You love me? I shouted. Do you even know what love is? Because this is cruelty, dressed up as desire. Mira's face fell, panic flickering for the first time. Alara, I didn't mean for it to... Save it! I screamed, my voice echoing against the walls. My legs moved before my brain could stop them. I didn't care where I was going, only that I had to get away. Rain slapped my cheeks as I burst outside. The storm welcomed me like an accomplice. Lightning split the sky, mirroring the fracture in my chest. I trusted you, I whispered to the wind, my voice almost swallowed by the thunder. I trusted you both, and you destroyed me. Somewhere behind me, I heard Aiden calling my name, pleading. Mira shouted excuses. Jonas's footsteps splashed in puddles. I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. All I could feel was the fire of betrayal. Every lie I had ignored, every smile I had given freely, it all came crashing down. And as I ran into the storm, numb, broken, and hating myself for ever trusting anyone so completely, I swore one thing. I would never be so powerless again. Wait, Alara, stop! Mira's voice cut through the rain like a knife. I didn't hear her. I couldn't. My legs carried me forward before my brain could catch up. Every drop of rain stung like the lies I had swallowed. Every flash of lightning seared the betrayal into my chest. Elara, please, don't! I blinked through tears, my world reduced to the storm, the mud under my shoes, and the pounding of my heart. Get out of my way, I shouted, not stopping. Aiden, he... Mira gasped, but I didn't care. I didn't want to hear their excuses, their apologies, their fake remorse. The headlights came too fast, too bright. I froze for a heartbeat that felt like eternity. Oh, God! Elara! Mira screamed my name. The sound tore through me, but it was too late. The truck slammed into me, or maybe I slammed into fate. I felt the world tilt, the sky tear open, and for one terrifying second I saw them, Aiden holding Mira, laughing. Not me, not me. Why? I whispered, my voice swallowed by the wind. Darkness pressed in. I thought I was gone, and yet warmth bloomed around me, soft, gentle, impossible. What? I tried to speak, but no words came. A voice like silk and fire together whispered in my mind, "Do you want to live again? And see the truth?" I froze. My pulse caught. What? Who are you? No answer, just the warmth and the promise of something I couldn't yet name. I want to, I whispered, unsure if I was begging or commanding. The world cracked open, folding inward. I felt my body lift, fall, spin, and dissolve. No, I'm not ready. And then silence. When I opened my eyes, everything was different. My room, my bed, the sunlight spilling through the curtains like it always had. My hands shook, cold and trembling. I looked around. Nothing had changed, or everything had. I caught sight of the small velvet box on my dresser, the engagement ring, my ring. My heart stuttered, my throat constricted. I reached for it. My hands didn't believe what they were seeing. I'm back, I whispered to myself. My voice sounded strange, small, incredulous. This isn't possible. Footsteps outside my door, my mother's voice. Elara, breakfast is ready. Ordinary, normal, mundane. I sank onto the bed. My mind raced. 1 year ago, I could feel it in my bones. The day Aiden first gave me the ring. The day I should have seen the cracks. The day I should have known. I whispered, almost inaudibly, I've been given a second chance. The warmth returned briefly, like reassurance. I felt it cradle me, pressing a silent warning. Do not waste this. Watch, learn, prepare. I clutched the ring, my fingers trembling. I'll make it right, I said, voice firm, though fear clawed at my stomach. I'll see everything. I'll survive this. A soft laugh escaped me, shaky, bitter. I thought I knew betrayal. I thought I knew pain. But this is a chance to change it, to see the truth before it destroys me. I stood, heart pounding, eyes scanning the familiar room now loaded with impossible possibility. Aiden, Mira, you won't catch me off guard again. The sunlight caught on the ring. It sparkled, mocking, beautiful, a reminder that time itself had given me a gift or a test. I'm back, I said aloud, more to the world than to myself. And this time, nothing will be the same. A wind gusted through the open window, and I thought I heard it whisper, "See the truth. Live the life you were denied." I swallowed hard, steeling myself. The storm, the betrayal, the heartbreak, it all waited for me. But now I was armed with memory, rage, and the clarity I hadn't had before. I sat at the edge of the bed, holding the ring like it was both a weapon and a promise. 1 year, I whispered. 1 year to make it right. 1 year to survive and to strike back. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my cereal like it had secrets to tell. My mother's voice called from the stove. "Elara, eat before it gets cold." I will," I mumbled, my hands trembling. She glanced at me, frowning. You've been quiet lately? Something wrong at school? No, Mom. Just tired, I guess. I forced a smile. She didn't press further. That was fine. Nobody needed to know yet. Later, I met Jonas in the courtyard. He waved, grinning, but then frowned. Hey, you've been different, distant. Is everything okay? Yeah, just thinking, I said, shrugging, a lot on my mind. Jonas leaned closer. You've got that haunted look. Talk to me, Alara. I can't. Not yet. I shook my head. I just need to see things clearly first. He studied me, unconvinced, then sighed. All right, but you know I'm here. I nodded, grateful and guilty at once. Jonas always saw more than anyone, maybe too much. Class passed in a blur. I watched Mira from across the hall, noting the way she smiled at Aiden. Too perfect, too practiced. Morning, Alara, she said sweetly, stepping beside me. Morning, I replied, keeping my tone light. Did you finish that project? Oh, yes, I'll show you later, she said, eyes flicking toward Aiden. The glance lingered. Too long. My stomach nodded. Later, Aiden approached. Hey, he said, voice casual. You coming to the game tonight? I'll think about it, I said. Got homework to catch up on. He shrugged. All right. Just don't disappear on me like last time. His tone was cold, sharper than I remembered. I swallowed. I won't. Jonas caught up with me after class. Something's off. You're watching her too much. I have to, I said, keeping my voice low. She's dangerous. Dangerous, he repeated, alarmed. Just watch, I said, forcing a laugh. You'll see. By evening, I noticed Mira texting furiously, hiding her phone every time I glanced her way. Aiden's attention kept drifting toward her, subtle but constant. I clenched my hands in my lap. I had ignored these things before, blinded by trust, but not now. Not ever again. That night, I sat on my balcony, phone in hand, scrolling through messages I shouldn't have remembered. Tiny details I had missed before. Fleeting glances, hushed conversations, the way Mira always positioned herself between Aiden and me when anyone else was around. I whispered to the wind. They planned it. Every step. It wasn't an accident, not a mistake. My phone buzzed. Professor Rowan. Meeting tomorrow. Don't forget. Important. I sighed, pocketing the phone. Rowan had been a guide in subtle ways, nudging me to notice what others tried to hide. Maybe I should ask him for advice, I murmured. The next day, I saw Mira with Penny, whispering and laughing softly. I could almost hear the calculations behind the smiles. They didn't want me to notice, yet they underestimated me. At lunch, Aiden sat across from me, casual as ever. Ilara, why are you so quiet? I'm just thinking, I said, picking at my food, about school, life, whatever. He raised an eyebrow. You've changed. Yes, I said. I suppose I have. I let a small, controlled smile touch my lips. Things happen. People change. He didn't respond, but his eyes narrowed. That small victory sent a shiver down my spine. Later at home, Mom asked again, Are you sure you're okay? Yes, Mom, just growing up, I guess, I said. She studied me, suspicion softening into a shrug. That was enough for now. I stayed up late, reviewing the past year in my mind like a map of mistakes I would never repeat. Mira's fake kindness, Aiden's cold distance, hidden texts, secret smiles, all signs I had missed. I won't let it happen again, I whispered, gripping my ring. Not to me. Not to anyone I care about. I realized something chilling. I had been reborn not just to live, but to see clearly, to survive, to act. And this year, I would not fail. Stared at the ceiling for a long moment, letting the memories of betrayal wash over me. Then I whispered to myself, not this time. Not again. The next morning, Mira greeted me with her usual smile. Ilara, you look radiant today. Did you sleep well? I returned the smile, soft and unassuming. Thanks, Mira. I did. How about you? Oh, the usual, she said, tilting her head. Busy, but good. Aiden appeared from the hallway. Morning, he said casually, sliding past me to grab coffee. You ready for the week? Yes, I said lightly, excited for the new projects. I made sure my voice sounded normal, unshaken. They had to believe I was still the naive girl. Mira leaned closer, lowering her voice. You've been quiet lately. Everything okay? Just thinking, I said with a small laugh. You know me, always overthinking. Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she let it pass. Good. Keep underestimating me. Later that day, I slipped into the library, pretending to study. My hand shook as I opened my laptop, but I breathed slowly. I began digging through emails, scrolling messages I'd saved from Aiden and Mira. Conversations, plans, small betrayals they thought I'd never notice. Every piece of evidence felt like a weapon waiting for the right moment. Penny? I asked softly when my friend appeared behind me. Her eyes widened. Ilara? Why are you here? I need information, I said, forcing calm. Anything you know about Mira. Things she tries to hide. Penny hesitated, glancing around. I don't know if I should. You can trust me, I said, leaning closer. I just need the truth, not rumors, facts. Her eyes flickered. Finally, she whispered, She's careful, always. But sometimes she slips. I've seen her, talking to someone at odd hours, whispering. I think she's planning something big. I nodded slowly, keeping my expression neutral. Thank you. That's more than enough. Later that evening, I crouched in my room, papers spread across my bed, quietly reading through old messages. My chest ached, and for a moment, tears threatened to spill. I swallowed hard, forcing control. I would not break. A knock at the door startled me. Jonas appeared, brows furrowed. Ilara, what are you doing? Just studying, I said quickly, trying to sound casual. You know, staying on top of things. His gaze softened. You're lying. I can see it. You're crying. You're hurting. I closed the laptop, forcing a laugh. No, I'm fine, really. Just tired from classes. He stepped closer. Ilara, I know you better than anyone. Talk to me. You don't have to hide it. I shook my head, trying to keep my voice light. Jonas, I can't. Not yet, but thank you. That means a lot. He studied me for a long moment, suspicion clear in his eyes, and then nodded slowly. All right, but I'm here, okay? Anytime. I watched him leave, feeling something strange twist in my chest. Maybe I wasn't completely alone. Maybe someone did care. And it scared me how much I wanted that care, even while planning revenge. The next day, I smiled at Mira and Aiden with the same fake innocence. You two look great together, I said lightly, letting the words drip with sincerity they couldn't question. Mira's smile faltered for just a fraction of a second. Aiden relaxed, taking the compliment at face value. Perfect. They think I'm still the same girl. At night, I whispered to the empty room, This is only the beginning. I'll collect everything I need. Every lie, every betrayal, every secret. I picked up my notebook and began writing down names, conversations, hidden details. My hands were steady now, my mind sharp. I would wait, watch, and strike when the time was right. And somewhere deep inside, I allowed myself a quiet, dangerous thought. Maybe. This time, no one will hurt me without paying. I caught Mira glancing at me from across the cafeteria, her smile tight, forced. She spoke to Aiden like nothing was wrong, but I could see it. The twitch of her fingers, the way she scanned the room, paranoid. "Aiden, are you coming?" she asked, her voice too high, too eager. "I'm busy," he replied curt. "Go ahead." Her eyes snapped to mine for just a second. She blinked, then turned away, faking composure. I let myself smile, small, imperceptible. She thought I didn't see. Later, I cornered Penny in the library. "You looked upset yesterday. What's wrong?" I asked, feigning innocence. Penny hesitated, whispering, I shouldn't say anything." "Come on," I urged softly, tilting my head. "I just want to understand. I need someone I can trust." She glanced around, then leaned closer. "Mira, she's obsessed with Aiden ever since high school. She's always wanted what you have, Alara. That's why she's always around him, always pretending she's your friend." I nodded slowly, keeping my voice gentle. "I see. So she planned it all?" Penny swallowed. "I think so. She's careful, but sometimes she slips. She doesn't want you to notice, but she's desperate." "Desperate for what?" I asked, voice soft, almost comforting. "To take everything from you. Your happiness, your future," she whispered. I put a hand on her shoulder. "Thank you, Penny. I needed to know. Truly." That evening, Aiden cornered me in the hall. "Alara, why are you always so distant lately?" I shrugged, keeping my tone light. "Just thinking about school, life, everything." "You've changed," he said, irritation threading his words. "You used to follow along. Now you argue, you question. Why?" "I'm growing," I said softly, eyes fixed on him. "I can't just pretend anymore." He narrowed his eyes. "Watch yourself, Alara." I let the words roll off me, masking the thrill I felt. Every threat he thought he was giving me, every intimidation, only made me sharper, calmer. Later, Jonas pulled me aside. "Alara, something's off with Aiden. Have you noticed?" "I have," I said, voice low. "He's controlling, paranoid. And Mira, she's slipping. I can feel it." His eyes widened. "You're noticing things I barely see. Be careful." "I am," I said, forcing a calm I didn't fully feel. "But someone has to watch." At night, I sat in my room, flipping through messages, whispers I had collected from Penny, small notes from Ethan, Aiden's co-worker, hinting at resentment toward him. I whispered aloud, "Ethan's annoyed, Mira's desperate, Aiden's cold, and I know everything now." I pictured the night I had died, the rain, the betrayal. The memory burned bright, sharp, and painful. I had relived it, felt it, and survived it. "I can't let it happen again," I muttered to myself. "This isn't just for me. It's for the girl I used to be, the one who trusted too easily, who ignored the warning signs. I'll make them pay, but smartly, carefully." A soft knock at the door startled me. Penny peeked in. "Alara, are you okay? You've been different. I mean, quiet, sharp, not like before." I smiled faintly. "I'm fine, just focusing." Her brow furrowed. "Focusing on what?" "On surviving," I said softly, "and learning." She nodded slowly, her eyes lingering. "If you ever need help, I mean, really, I'm here." "Thank you," I whispered, and I meant it. For the first time, I felt that someone genuinely cared. And it wasn't Aiden, it wasn't Mira. It was someone who could help me navigate this mess. After she left, I returned to my desk, hands steady now as I wrote notes, sorted messages, highlighted lies, small betrayals. Every detail mattered. Every slip could be a weapon. I whispered into the dark room, "This year, nothing slips past me, not one secret, not one betrayal, not one lie. I will survive, and I will make them pay. For every moment I suffered, for every tear I shed, for the life I almost lost. And in that silence, I felt power stir inside me, quiet, dangerous, and exhilarating. I told myself the game had to start gently, so I smiled at Mira over breakfast and said, "I hope you're free later. I want your advice on something important." Her eyes lit with that familiar hunger for superiority. "Of course," she replied. Exactly what I wanted, her confidence, her guard lowered. I leaned in and whispered, "Aiden's been distant. I think I'm not enough." She almost smirked. "He's stressed," she said, savoring my supposed weakness. "You should rely on me more." I nodded, as if grateful, while inside I marked the moment. The first thread tightened, Mira believing I needed her guidance. Aiden approached me later, pretending concern. "Mira said you're upset." I widened my eyes just enough. "I just want to be good for you." He sighed, relieved by my weakness. "You worry too much." I murmured, "Maybe," and let him believe everything he wanted. His ego folded perfectly into the trap forming. Jonas found me outside afterward. "You're playing at something," he said quietly. I froze for half a second before answering. "I'm just trying to fix things." He shook his head. "You don't need to fix them. You need to protect yourself." His sincerity pressed against the walls I kept carefully built. I exhaled and looked away. "I'm fine." "You're lying," he replied. His voice wasn't accusing, just certain. "When you're ready, tell me." I almost broke then, but I steadied myself. Jonas couldn't know yet. His loyalty felt dangerous in its honesty, grounding me in ways I didn't want to acknowledge. In the evening, I met Penny near the courtyard fountain. "Mira thinks I'm planning something special for her and Aiden," I told her. Penny blinked. "Are you?" I shook my head. "No, but I want her to believe she's winning." Penny whispered, "She loves that. She always wanted control over you." I kept my voice soft. "Then let her feel powerful." Penny nodded slowly. "You're different now, but stronger. Just be careful." I smiled. "I will." Inside, I knew Mira's confidence would blind her. She loved the idea that I was fragile. I fed her that illusion, waiting for the cracks to deepen. Aiden's sister, Evelyn, arrived unexpectedly the next afternoon. "Ilara," she greeted, her expression sharp, "walk with me." I followed her outside, keeping my steps calm. She didn't waste time. "My brother's acting smug. Says he's secured something important." "Did he tell you why he proposed?" My pulse tightened, but I kept quiet. Evelyn stopped and faced me. "It wasn't love. He's been pushing for family connections, financial ties, opportunities. You were convenient." Her bluntness sliced through my controlled mask. "So the ring," I whispered. She nodded. "It's leverage, always was." A quiet fury rolled through me, but I breathed slowly to contain it. "I appreciate your honesty," I said finally. She shrugged. "I don't like seeing you dragged into his schemes. Be smarter than him." I nodded. "I intend to be." As she walked away, I felt something cold settle inside me. Clarity. Aiden never loved me. The engagement had been a transaction. I sat alone in my room afterward, replaying Evelyn's words. "Convenient," she had said. I whispered the word to myself, letting its weight settle. So that was all I was. A knock interrupted my thoughts. Jonas's voice drifted through the door. "Ilara, can we talk?" I hesitated before answering. "Yeah, come in." His tone held a concern I couldn't name. Jonas stepped inside, closing the door softly. "You look shaken," he said. I forced a small smile. "Just thinking." He watched me carefully. "Whatever Aiden's doing, you don't have to pretend you're fine." I looked at him, the sincerity in his eyes unsettling. "I'm handling it," I insisted. Jonas sighed. You don't have to handle everything alone. I know that. I swallowed hard. But I need to be smart. Smart doesn't mean isolated, he replied. I shook my head. Some things I have to do myself. He stepped closer. Just don't lose yourself in whatever you're planning. I felt the warning settle into me. I won't, I said, though a part of me wondered if it was already too late. I waited until he left before exhaling the breath I'd held. Convenient, I whispered again, the word twisting into something sharper. Aiden had used me, Mira envied me, and both thought I remained blind. But now I knew the truth. The ring had never been a promise. It had been a prize they meant to steal, and I knew how to break them. I stared at the ring in my palm, the same ring they once stole, the same ring that ended my life. My breath steadied. Tonight, I whispered, I return what was never mine to begin with. When I stepped into the dining hall, Mira's smile froze. Ilara, you look different. I feel different, I answered, taking my seat. Aiden watched me like I was a puzzle he'd forgotten how to solve. He leaned close. Are you all right? Perfect, I said. Better than ever. Jonas sat beside me, murmuring, You're sure you want to go through with this? Yes. My voice didn't shake. I'm ready. The dinner passed with forced laughter. Mira tried to show off, Aiden tried to charm me, and Jonas kept glancing at me like he expected an explosion. Finally, I stood. I have something to say. Aiden blinked. Now? Yes, now. I opened my hand. The engagement ring shimmered in the warm lights. Aiden's face drained of color. Mira's fork clattered against her plate. Ilara, she whispered, why do you have this? I lifted it gently. Because I want to give it to you. Her eyes widened. What are you talking about? You've wanted it for a long time, I said softly. Take it. Aiden sputtered. Ilara, stop. What are you doing? I'm doing what makes sense, I replied. You two belong together. Jonas whispered urgently. Ilara, this is dangerous. I know, I told him, but it's time. Mira stood, trembling. You're joking, right? You can't just... I can, I cut in. And I am. Aiden grabbed my wrist. Why are you acting like this? Did someone say something? I met his eyes. No one had to. I simply see clearly now. See what? He demanded. That you've both been looking at each other for months, I said calmly. That I was just the barrier in your way. Mira stammered. That's not... We never... You don't have to lie to me tonight, I told her gently. Please, just take it. I held out the ring. She stared at it like it was poison. Why? She whispered. Because you want it, I said, and I'm done being in the dark. Aiden's voice cracked. Ilara, please don't do this. Why not? I tilted my head. Isn't this what you wanted? Jonas rose beside me. Ilara, maybe we should step outside. No. I pulled my arm free. I need this. I walked to Mira and pressed the ring into her palm. Her hand shook violently. Stop, she begged. This isn't... You don't want it now? I asked. Strange. You wanted it so much before. Aiden snapped. Enough. You're being cruel. Am I? I asked softly. Or am I just earlier this time? Aiden's breath hitched. He knew. He didn't understand how, but he knew I was onto them. Jonas touched my shoulder. Ilara, breathe. I am breathing. My voice surprisingly steady. In fact, I've never breathed this well. The silence at the table felt like a tight rope ready to tear. I lifted my glass. A toast. Aiden's voice dropped low. Ilara, don't. I smiled. To honesty, I said. To loyalty, to choosing what you truly want, instead of pretending. Mira flinched. Aiden looked like he might break his glass. Jonas watched me like he could see every hidden bruise I carried. I continued, and to the truth finally having space to grow. Penny, sitting near the back, muttered, "What truth?" I looked at Mira. "You can answer that, can't you?" She coughed. I don't know what you mean." "Of course you do," I said, "but it's fine. I'm giving you two my blessing." Aiden slammed his hand on the table. "We're not together." "Not yet," I replied softly, "but we both know you will be." He stared at me like I'd stripped every excuse from his mouth. Mira whispered, "Alara, you're scaring me." "Good," I said quietly. "Now you know how I felt." Jonas stepped closer. "Alara, let's go, please." But I wasn't finished. I raised my glass again. Tonight marks a new beginning, for all of us. Mira shook her head. "Alara, what's happening to you?" "I woke up," I answered. "That's all." Aiden's voice broke. "You're not yourself." "I am," I said, "just not the version you expected." I set my glass down, letting the echo cut the air. "Enjoy the ring," I whispered. "It always meant more to you than to me." Mira clutched it, terrified. Aiden watched me, unable to understand the calm ice in my voice. Jonas sighed. "This isn't over, is it?" "No," I said, turning toward the door. "It's just beginning." And as I walked away, their panic followed me, exactly as planned. Mira didn't sleep that night. I saw it in the way she hovered around the hallways the next morning, glancing at me like I was, a shadow she couldn't control. "Alara, you're different," she said, voice shaking. "Am I?" I asked softly. "I think I'm exactly who I've always been. Maybe you're just noticing now." Her eyes darted to Aiden. He wouldn't what?" I tilted my head. "Notice? Care? Or maybe you've been doing all the noticing for him." Aiden shot me a sharp look. "Alara, stop with these games." "I'm not playing," I said, calm and unshakable. "I'm simply observing." By midweek, news trickled in. Deals Aiden had been counting on collapsed. His arrogance had blinded him to Ethan's quiet sabotage. Evelyn grinned at him one morning. "Maybe you should have thought more about who you trusted," she said. "Evelyn!" he barked, red-faced. I caught Evelyn's glance. She had weaponized his sisterly ambition, and I hadn't even asked. The cracks were appearing without my interference. Karma had begun its crawl, slow but inevitable. Penny appeared at lunch, whispering urgently, "Alara, people are talking. About Mira, about Aiden. They're noticing things they shouldn't." "Good," I said lightly. "Let them notice. Let them feel the discomfort we once felt." "They're scared," she said, almost in awe. "I've never seen Mira like this." I smiled faintly. "Then it's working." Later, Jonas found me in the library, sitting with my notebook open, fingers tracing lines of collected evidence. His face was worried. "Alara, I need to know. What's going on? You're not yourself." I put my hands over my face for a long moment. "Jonas, I can't keep pretending anymore." He knelt beside me. "Tell me, please, I can help." I swallowed hard and told him everything, about the ring, about Aiden and Mira, about being betrayed and reborn with a chance to fix it. I left out the part about dying. I couldn't risk it. He ran a hand through his hair, furious. That son of a Aiden. He thought he could use you, lie to you, cheat you. "Yes," I said quietly, watching the anger flicker in his eyes. "Exactly." "You're not alone," he said, voice low, determined. "Whatever you're planning, I'm standing with you. I won't let him hurt you again." I nodded, tears threatening, but held at bay. "Thank you," I whispered. I need someone to remind me I'm still human in all this." He gripped my hand. "You are. And you're strong. Stronger than he'll ever understand." Meanwhile, Mira's paranoia grew. She whispered to herself, checked phones, and replayed my words from the toast night. Every glance I gave her made her flinch. I saw her unraveling slowly, deliciously. Aiden's life crumbled piece by piece. Financial partners questioned him. Ethan's subtle undermining revealed mismanagement. Evelyn spread her influence. Each small collapse was like watching a perfectly built house fall brick by brick. I watched them, feeling the victory pulse through me, but not the satisfaction I had imagined. The emptiness inside me remained. Revenge didn't fill the hollow places. It didn't erase the betrayal, or the night of rain, or the fear that had nearly ended me. Jonas leaned against the doorway later. "You look exhausted," he said. "I am," I admitted, "and lonely. I thought revenge would feel complete, but it's only part of it. The rest is surviving myself." He didn't respond immediately, just stepped closer, resting a hand on my shoulder. "Then we survive it together." I let his presence anchor me, feeling a strange mix of relief and guilt. Relief that someone truly cared. Guilt that my heart had hardened, that my plans had turned me into someone others feared. "I have to watch them fall," I said softly, almost to myself. "But I have to stay me, or what's the point?" Jonas nodded. "I'll help you. Every step." I smiled faintly, grateful. "Thank you. That means more than you know." From the corner of my eye, I saw Mira glance at me again, fear and suspicion in her gaze. Aiden's tension was palpable, his confidence shattered. Penny whispered to me later, "They can't hide from the truth anymore. You've changed everything." "Yes," I murmured, "but even as they fall, I feel empty. I thought this would fix me, but it doesn't. It only reminds me of what I lost." Jonas squeezed my hand. "Then we rebuild. Together." I looked at him, at the chaos they'd brought upon themselves, and whispered, "Together then." But their world, it's still mine to watch collapse. And I realized revenge wasn't just for justice. It was for reclaiming the life they almost stole from me. I watched them from across the room, the tension thick enough to taste. Mira's hand shook as she glared at Aiden. "This is your fault. Everything we've ruined is because of you." "My fault?" Aiden shouted, pacing. "You were the one who pushed, who schemed. Don't put this on me." I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, calm. "You two are exhausting." Mira whipped toward me. "Ilara, I need your help. I never meant to hurt you." Her voice cracked. I laughed, soft and sharp. Not joy, release. "You never meant to hurt me? Mira, I already died once because of you, and now I'm still here." Her eyes widened. What are you saying?" "I survived. I learned. I collected everything," I said, letting my voice drip with quiet triumph. "The messages, the lies, the plans you thought I'd never notice. Every betrayal." Aiden stepped forward, his face pale. "Ilara, I didn't mean—" "You didn't mean anything," I interrupted, calm, slicing through him. "Not the engagement, not the promises, not the life you tried to steal from me. I have the proof." I pulled out my phone and held it up. Texts, emails, financial manipulations, lies. You thought I trusted you blindly. You were wrong. Aiden's jaw tightened. "Ilara, you can't—" "Oh, I can," I said softly, meeting his eyes with unflinching certainty. "And I will, not because I hate you, but because I survived you." Mira took a hesitant step closer. "Ilara, please, we can fix this. We can make it right." I shook my head slowly. "Fix this? Mira, you had your chance. You chose him over me. You stole what was mine and you broke me. I won't fix anything for you. You'll fix yourselves, or fall apart trying." Aiden's voice was shaking now. "Ilara, please, think about what you're saying. You're letting this destroy. I've been destroyed, I said quietly. Once, and I'm still standing. You too? Not so much. The door opened and Evelyn stepped in. Aiden, she said coldly, scanning the room. I've heard enough. What, Evelyn? He stammered, suddenly defensive. You used her. You lied. You schemed. And I will no longer be part of it, she said, eyes hard. Consider yourself cut out of my life. His face crumpled. Evelyn, wait. No, she said sharply. Your choices are yours alone. I won't protect you anymore. Mira gasped, looking from Evelyn to me. This wasn't supposed to happen. I smiled faintly. It happens when you play games with people who survive them. Jonas appeared at my side, eyes wide, hand brushing mine. Ilara, are you okay? I am, I said quietly, but my voice shook as I sank to the floor, letting the weight of it all settle. I survived it all, and now it's over. Jonas knelt beside me, wrapping his arms around me. Shh, it's okay. Cry if you need to. You've earned it. I let the tears come at last, hot and unrestrained. The betrayal, the rage, the fear, the loneliness, it poured from me in waves. Mira stumbled backward, pale. Ilara, I didn't know. I looked at her once, my eyes cold but steady. Now you know. But it doesn't matter. Your world is falling, mine is rising, and I finally get to breathe. Aiden sank into a chair, defeated, staring at his own crumbling life. Ilara, Save it, I said, voice quiet but cutting. You had your chance. You lost it. Evelyn stood with finality. Goodbye, Aiden. Don't contact me again. Mira's lips quivered. Ilara, please. I said it's too late, I said softly. Too late for apologies, too late for excuses, and too late to hurt me again. Jonas held me tighter. You're safe now. I nodded, letting the warmth of his presence calm the storm inside me. The room burned with the chaos they created, but I felt strangely still, unshaken. For the first time, I allowed myself to cry fully, not in fear, not in betrayal, not in anger, but in relief. I'm free, I whispered, finally letting the tears fall without restraint. And as the echoes of their ruined lives filled the space, I realized that surviving wasn't enough. Sometimes you had to rise from the ashes fully, and I had. I walked down the street, Jonas beside me, the air crisp and clean. The chaos behind us faded with every step. I could hear whispers in the wind, reminders of what once was, but they no longer reached me. They're collapsing, Jonas said quietly. Everyone's turning on them. I nodded, keeping my gaze forward. It's karma, I said softly. I don't have to do anything. It's already happening. Jonas glanced at me. Do you feel satisfied? I laughed, a short, bitter sound. No, not satisfied. Free? Maybe, but this doesn't fix what they broke. He stayed silent for a moment. I've been watching you, Ilara. You've changed so much. Stronger, sharper, but still you. I smiled faintly. I'm trying. Every day I remind myself I'm not that girl anymore. The one who trusted too easily. The one who believed everyone's lies. Jonas's hand brushed mine. And you don't have to. I've loved you for years, even when I couldn't say it. I stopped walking and looked at him, startled. Jonas, you don't have to answer, he said gently. I just want you to know. I swallowed hard. I'm not ready to promise anything, not yet, but I promise myself peace, that I can choose me first. He nodded. Then I'll be here. No pressure, just for you. We continued walking in silence. The city felt alive, indifferent, like nothing had ever happened. But I knew the truth. Everything had changed. Aiden and Mira's web of lies had collapsed. Their friends abandoned them, their reputations tarnished, their own guilt gnawed at them. They turned on each other like predators in a cage. I didn't touch it. I watched, and for the first time, I felt the calm of knowing justice wasn't mine to deliver. It had already found them. "I saw Mira today," I murmured. She was pleading with someone, trying to explain herself. The way she looked, desperate. It didn't scare me anymore. Jonas glanced at me. "You've really let go, huh?" "I have," I said, voice steady. "Not for them, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve to live." He smiled softly. "I'm proud of you. You survived. You didn't just survive, you reclaimed your life." I looked down at my hands, the engagement ring still in my pocket, the ring that had once symbolized love, trust, betrayal, the ring that almost ended my life. My fingers traced its edge. "I think it's time," I said quietly, "time to let it go." Jonas tilted his head. "Are you sure?" "Yes," I said, lifting the ring. "I'm sure. This isn't mine. It never was. It belongs to the river now, to the world, to the past." We reached the riverbank. The water flowed calmly, indifferent, carrying reflections of trees and sky. I slipped the ring from my fingers and watched it drop. It sank slowly, settling on the riverbed, gleaming for a moment before disappearing entirely. I whispered, "This time, I choose myself." Jonas didn't speak, just held my hand as we watched the water carry it away. And in that silence, I felt it. The final release of the fear, the betrayal, the suffocating weight I had carried for so long. "I'm scared," I admitted suddenly, my voice soft. "Scared I might let someone in, scared I might trust the wrong person again." Jonas squeezed my hand. "You'll know? You've learned? And if someone ever makes you feel like that again, I'll be here. I'll remind you of what you've already survived." I smiled, a small, honest smile. I think I'm ready to start over, slowly, carefully, but for the first time, for me." He looked at me, hope and patience in his eyes. "I'll walk with you, every step." I nodded, taking a deep breath. The river rushed by, cold and cleansing. The city hummed around us. My past, the betrayal, the death, the lies, was behind me. Ahead there was only life I could shape, life I could choose. "This is it," I said, voice low but firm. "No more running, no more hiding, no more letting anyone decide who I am." Jonas smiled. "Then let's go forward." I stepped back from the river, letting the final piece of my old life sink beneath the current. I felt lighter, freer, like the weight of what had once held me down had been washed away. "This time," I whispered again, "I choose myself." And I meant it.